In today's episode, a divided family is reunited by an unlikely source. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Encounters from Beyond the Veil. Do you believe in miracles? Or is it just coincidence? Well, in today's feel-good story, we'll let you decide. We all know someone who's been through a divorce. It's terrible and splits a family. But in today's story, it will take one special angel to reunite that family. Today's episode, Miracle in the Mailroom.
What you have to do with this machine is be very careful with your fingers. There's a motor running.
In June of 1995, James Austin was transferred to the cancellation department in Philadelphia's main post office. Yvette Richardson was given the job of training him.
When I came to cancellation, we were on the same shift. Well, I came in at 3, she came in at 4.
We never got into anything personal, just, hey, how you doing? We never stopped, talked, said anything, of relevance to each other.
We worked together in that situation for almost 2 years, a couple feet away from each other.
Hey, good night now.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
You say hi, you say bye, that type of thing, but you never really get to know one another.
Really didn't think anything of it. Just another coworker.
You mean you never cry at movies?
And then one day, after a union meeting, James and another co-worker named Barry Bowens started talking about their lives.
Brian song.
We had just been chit-chatting, talking about a couple of things, just basically getting to know each other a little better.
I can understand that.
And we got to talking about parents and somebody she knew, their mother had died.
Mom just died. She's only 30. Can you imagine losing your mom at 30?
I ain't got no sympathy for that.
What? You ain't got no sympathy for somebody losing their mom?
Not at that age. Look, I lost my grandmother, my grandfather when I was a kid, right? I lost my father when I was 12.
So she asked me, well, what happened to your mother? So I said, well, I never really knew her.
James was only 7 months old when his parents divorced, and his father took him to live in North Philadelphia. He never saw his mother again.
So she said, well, what's her name?
And he said, Veronica Potter. And I said, Potter? And I said, hey, that's Cookie's last name. And he said, Cookie who? And I said, Cookie that works with us. And he said, I don't know Cookie. And I said, yes, you do. I said, Yvette.
And I said, oh, well, my mother did have a daughter named Yvette.
On the day his father took him away, James's sister, Yvette, stayed behind with their mother. They were both too young to realize what was happening.
Oh, no! Do you know what that means? That's your sister. That is your sister. Yes, it is. Oh, wait. You gotta talk to her. You gotta talk to her.
You think so?
Yeah.
I said, I don't know, why don't you ask her, talk to her?
So I said, well, you want me to ask her? And he said, yeah, would you?
Barry wasted no time in tracking down her friend.
Cookie, I got something to tell you. Excuse me. What you got to tell me? Didn't you say you had a brother?
And I'm thinking, oh, she must be talking about the young men that I know in the church. I'm like, yeah, I have several brothers. Why?
And I'm like, no, not Wayne from church. A real brother, a brother of your very own. And she said,
Yeah, I have a real brother. Oh, well, have you had any contact with him in the last couple of years? No, I haven't seen him in over 30 years.
Well, you and this guy look just alike. Okay? And he's got a sister named Yvette. There's lots of Yvettes. Look, his mother's name is Veronica Potter.
and she was like, well, where is he? And I was like, well, he's here. And she was like, what you mean here? And I'm like, here in the post office.
I'm like, okay, where? In cancellation. You've got to be kidding.
What's his name? James Austin, you remember?
I says, oh, okay. Well, let's go see. Let's go find him.
He usually leaves at 4 o'clock. I hope we
Maybe
can catch him, Barry. Well, we'll see if he clocked out.
James was getting off early that night, and it appeared that he had already clocked out.
Oh, no. Just clocked out. Well, maybe he's still here. He just clocked out.
But moments later, they came face to face for the first time in over 30 years.
That's him. What's up, Barry? James, this is Cookie, man. This is your sister.
They were just like staring at each other. And I was like, it's your brother. It's your sister. And they just like looked at each other. And I started to get a little weepy, a little teary, because, I'm a little mushy.
I was kind of in shock, kind of numb. I didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do.
I was like, well, give him a hug.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'm like, this is my brother, the person I hadn't seen in 30 years. It was a picture-perfect moment. Everything slowed down, everything stopped, and it was just the three of us at that particular moment.
You found each other. I found you, too. Thank you, Barry.
We got to talk. We got to talk.
Okay. Oh, you talking? Okay. You're gonna carry.
A week after James and his sister were reunited, another emotional reunion would take place.
When Cookie told our mother, we made arrangements for them to come here so she could meet me. I was nervous all day, had the butterflies in the stomach, and I know she had to be nervous too.
Hi, James. It's Mama.
She looked at him like, oh, he's grown, he's a man, he's an adult. I think like that sigh of relief, like, all right, he's good.
When I grew up, I was told that my mother was dead. When I finally met her, it was a relief to know that I finally could get to know her.
4 years after their family reunion, Yvette and James continue to work together. They have become close friends, and while getting to know each other, they discovered that they'd traveled very similar paths while growing up.
There were a lot of coincidences. The first one being the first church that I started out in was maybe about 2 or 3 blocks away from where he lived.
We found out that we went to high school within blocks of each other.
We both studied accounting, and he's better at it, of course, because he graduated. But we have a lot in common.
You got to make it back.
Today, the two siblings spend every lunch break together, catching up on lost time.
Something was in charge, someone was in control, because the post office is a city block square, 5 floors, 4,000 people. To meet up in the exact same facility, the exact same hours, that had to be a miracle. Someone had to say, okay, this is time.
I think it was a miracle that the opportunity opened up for me to find Cookie and my mother and spend a lot of time together, those special occasions, birthdays, Christmas, cookouts I have here. They're part of the family now.
Oh, no! Cookie's mom's name is Veronica Potter.
It's possible that I could have been the chosen one. I mean, we're all put here for some purpose, and maybe that was divine intervention, and maybe that was the reason for me being here. Yeah, I'm a miracle worker.
Well, what an emotional and heartwarming reunion that was. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more, hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, I'm Brad Polk for Encounters from Beyond the Veil.